This is cs952 Introduction to Web Technologies and Design, and I've just launched Dreamweaver, and you're probably seeing the screen as well every time you launch Dreamweaver. It's a little welcome screen. I'm going to close that. And I've got my website here in front of me that we've been working with. I'm going to go to Beginner and choose Reset Beginner. So we should all be looking at the exact same view. So in this next section, we're going to be adding an image and text to the home page. And if you already have an image and you already have some text describing your website, please use your own content and make the site your own. If not, you can use the provided student content instead. You can always start with the provided student content and then substitute your own content later. So I'm going to click on my Files tab, and I need an image and some text. Now, there is content that we can use that's available for us, and we're going to download that, and we're going to do it all with Dreamweaver. We can actually, the files are already there for us on your remote server. So we haven't talked too much about the Files panel in detail. As we look from left to right, we've got an icon here that says Connect to Remote Server, and it says cs952 because that's the name that we gave our remote server when we managed our sites and we did our site definitions. We have a refresh button. This is handy if sometimes you've added a file to Dreamweaver and it's not showing up right away in your Files panel. You can click the refresh button. Then we have Get Files from Remote Server to pull files down from our remote server. And then we have Put. So when we want to put a new file online, all we have to do is click this up arrow and we're done. Synchronization, we're not going to be using synchronization, but what we will be using is this last icon. And let me drag Dreamweaver over a little bit so you can see this. This icon says Expand to show local and remote sites. So this is a great feature. It lets us compare what we have on our local computer with what's on the remote computer. This is part of the FTP, or File Transfer Protocol, capability that's built into Dreamweaver. So let's click on that last icon. And when we do, we get this split screen. On the left is what's on our remote server, and on the right is what's on our local server. Now, I know this because when I look to the left it says Remote Server, and when I look to the right it says Local Files. So before we can find out what's on our remote server, we have to connect to the remote server. So there's a message that says, to see your remote files, click the, and that's the connect icon, button in the toolbar. So we're going to go to the toolbar, and we're going to click Connect to Remote Server CS952. So let's click there. And we've connected. Didn't take any time at all. Now we can see there's one folder there, and that's the tutorial folder that I was talking about earlier, that's got various files in there that we can use. And this, I may update the content of this through the semester, but for right now it's got some images and some text that can help us complete these first steps towards building our home page. So how do we get this folder? Now we just click on that Get Files from Remote Server icon up in the top, and we click on that. And then Dreamweaver begins downloading those files for us. Now those files are going to take just a minute to download because they include text files, some pictures, but they also include a video file. So that video file is going to take just a moment to get downloaded. If you get this message about dependent files, you can go ahead and say yes to that. And then we're going to let Dreamweaver continue to do its download. Alright, our files have been downloaded. So we're done downloading our files. We can close this window by clicking on the collapse. They call this button the collapse to show only local or remote site. So if we click there, we're back to where we were before, and now we can see we have this tutorial folder. If I can click on the little plus icon to expand it and see we've got audio, carousel, images, various resources that we can use to help us put together our website. So now that we've done this, let's create our first new page for our website. And we do that by going to Site and then choosing New Site. And before we had, you may still have New Document selected. Okay, so you can see we have New Document, there's starter templates. can see there's a lot of started templates over here. You might want to be interested in exploring sometime on your own. But we're interested in site templates. We made a site template earlier, right? So I'm going to click on site templates, and I've got a whole bunch of different projects I'm working on, but the one I'm interested in is the one for pencil, because that's my final project. And we get a little preview of what this site template looks like. And I am just going to click, before I do, we want to make sure we leave this box checked, update when template changes. Very, very important. It should be checked now. No reason to uncheck that. Make sure that it is checked. And I'm going to click on the Create button. So what Dreamweaver does is create a new page for us based on our template. Now the first thing I'm going to do before I do anything else is change the name of this page. Under the document title it says pencil, that's fine, but I want to add -home. It's very important that you give appropriate titles to your pages. Very, very important. It's very easy to do. Make sure that you get that changed, and you can type in home. You may want to use different, whatever you think is going to be appropriate for your site, but always make sure that every page has a unique document title. And now I'm going to go to my standard toolbar. I can hit any kind of save, but I'm always in the habit of hitting save all. And then we get our file dialog box opens. Now it's very, very, very important that we call this page index. You can't call it home page, you can't call it page 1. This is one place where there is no room for creativity. The only name that you can type for this page is INDEX. I've had people call pages something else, and they find out that their website will not work. So you have to name your page index. 100% absolutely. So let's go ahead and hit save. And now our page has been saved for us, and we can see that we have an index file that's been added to our file list. Now let's switch to code view. I'm going to switch over here to code view. And when we go to code view, the first thing I notice right away is that everything on the screen is gray. What happened to all that colorful text? When we scroll up and down, there's just only a couple places where the text isn't all grayed out. Well, this is absolutely 100% correct. And this is why we have chosen to use a template for building our websites. Because everything that's gray right now, that's all in our template. And the only area where we can make any changes to is this area that says main content. And we've got a little hidden area at the top and the bottom for our JavaScript and our CSS. But the main content for our page, we can put as much web code in here as we want to, but everything else is locked out. And that's the idea behind using a template. That with the template, the critical top of the page and the bottom of the page are not edited by individual pages, but are only edited in the template. And then when you go to each individual page, we're going to put all of our homepage content is going to end up going right here. If we switch to, let's go to design view, because design view gives us more editing options, right? If I go to design view and I actually hover over anything, so if my cursor is available right here for main content, right? If I hover anywhere else, it goes to a black circle with a slash through saying you can't work here. And the reason for that is, again, these regions are all locked down in the template. So if you see this, everything is working exactly as it should. We're going to remove our placeholder content that says main content. Now I can click over this, I can try and highlight exactly what I want to remove, but one of my favorite tools again is to use the status bar. If I click on instance editable in my status bar, it will highlight exactly what we want to remove. We don't need this placeholder content. We're going to put in real content now. So I'm going to hit, you can hit the delete key, the backspace key, either one, and we've removed that content now. And just give ourselves a little room to work with, I'm going to hit the enter or return key a couple times. Now we've added some space into our page. Now when we make changes in code view, Dreamweaver will say, do you want to refresh your page? And we'll go ahead and say, yeah, let's refresh the page. Right. So I'm going to hit save all again real quick, and then we're going to pick up with actually starting to add an image to our website.